Hey everyone, welcome to Ask WitchTips Part 2. I know that I promised this video a very long time ago, and I'm really sorry that it took me this long to get to it. I just didn't have time, which is hard to believe, but is somehow true. Um, so I actually have questions from both YouTube and Tumblr this time, which is crazy because I only started my YouTube channel a day ago and I already have over 100 subscribers on it, which I just find completely astounding. I really never thought I'd have a YouTube channel that had 100 subscribers, let alone in 24 hours. You guys are just so amazing, and I will never know why you are so genuinely interested in what I have to say. I question it every single day when I get messages, but regardless, I am happy to be here and to be talking to you and to be able to answer questions because I just think it's amazing. So, let's see. The first question is from YouTube, and it's from user Milky Butters. Great name, Milky Butters. I love it. So they say, thank you so much for your blog and this channel. Very informative and helpful. Thank you. I really try to be. I have two questions. One, does it matter if a candle is scented or is the color all that matters? For this question, I would say yes and no. Color is very important. Most witches know that because each color represents something different and has different characteristics and properties. And white candles can be substituted for any other color candle pretty much. That's pretty much the standard. You can, use white if you can't find a different color. The thing about scents, though, is that a lot of candles are scented with essential oils, which have their own properties and characteristics, just like crystals, herbs, colors, elements, that kind of thing. So if you're burning a candle that is a certain color and has certain properties, and then you smell something coming from it and it's a smell that has different properties than the candle you're using, that may hinder your spell a little bit or cause unintended consequences, which we definitely do not want. It's like when you ask a genie for something like $1,000,000, then you have the $1,000,000, but they're all stolen and you go to jail. It's like that kind of thing, like unintended consequences. So you definitely want to check and make sure if they are scented, if they're scented with oils, what oils, and does that oil correspond to your intents and goals? And Milky Butters' second question is about crystal balls, and what they're used for and what they do. So I have two crystal balls currently. I do not use either of them regularly because whenever I hold one of them, my hand starts to tremble uncontrollably, and I end up not being able to close my hand all the way for a couple of days because there's so much energy in it. And I have been trying to find a way to safely release that energy. I have not yet. I will definitely let you know if I do, and if anyone wants to give me any tips about that, I'm so open to that. So basically what you do with a crystal ball is you stare at it, you get your energy going, you kind of let yourself see whatever it has to offer. And you can get little flashes, like little pictures, and even sometimes little like kind of video clips. It's really whatever the ball wants to show you. Just like with pendulums, you ask a question, it says yes or no. Crystal balls are a little more detailed. Um, they show you what's going on, and some people can get what's going to happen and stuff like that. I mean, it takes a lot of energy and a lot of practice, but they can be very, very useful and super informative. And just like it's one of those parts of witchcraft where like you don't believe it, you don't believe it, and then you try it and it works and you're like, "Oh my gosh, this stuff is for real." It's like one of those great moments when you actually get it to work. So that's basically a very, very simplified version of crystal balls and what they do. So YouTube user Jack Anderson wrote, "Thank you for your insight in this video. I have sort of a broad question about having a god to worship. I have been quite wary about this. I have no expectations and I have no idea what to do. I do not understand what I get out of the worship or what to give." So, witches, as most people in the community know, can be theistic or non-theistic, and there are so many gods and goddesses that a witch can worship. And witches usually choose these gods because either the god comes to them in some way, dreams, little symbols, stuff like that, or they choose a god or goddess that has something to do with one of their goals, something they struggle with, or something they do a lot. For example, because I'm a musician, a songwriter, that kind of thing, I would probably want to pick a god or goddess that has to do with creativity, the arts, and music. Just an example. So what do you get out of worshiping a god and giving offerings to a god? And every god likes different offerings, usually. Just a side note. So what do you get out of worshiping a god or goddess? Basically, what a lot of witches feel they get is they have someone up there watching out for them, which is always great. We could all use that. They get a little extra oomph, a little power behind them for whatever subjects the god or goddess pertains to. And sometimes even guidance. You can get guidance, little symbols from your god or goddess that like kind of lead you in the right direction. So basically that's why a lot of witches choose to worship gods or goddesses. It's kind of like the same as any other religion, you know? You worship your religion's god or goddess or multiple gods or goddesses because you want to do right by what's ever out there. You want to do right. You want someone watching out for you. You want someone to care about you, someone to guide you and help you. So it's basically that. So the next question comes from Jonathan Richards from YouTube. And he asks, how do you prepare your circle? Or I guess a better question is, do you draw your circle, then call the elements? Or do you draw the circle while calling the quarters/elements? And is there any real difference? So it's typical for witches to cast the circle first, or at least lay out where the circle is first, and then bring all the tools you need inside of the circle, and then officially cast the circle around yourself, because it's really important not to step out of the circle once all this has started, because you could lose the energy and it won't work out the way you want it to. So usually you map out your circle, you put whatever you need to in the circle, you cast the circle, and then you put your objects in the cardinal directions that you want them in. But every witch is different. Everyone wants to do it a different way. So it's definitely a personal choice, I think. Um, the next question comes from In the Mind of Stephanie. And they ask, I feel connected to water despite being a fire sign. Any tips? Sea witchcraft sounds interesting, but I only live near lakes. Well, sea witchcraft is definitely not the only type of water-based witchcraft. Um, Water witches can work with lakes, streams, waterfalls, whatever. And lake water is actually really cool because it has properties like peace, contentment, relaxation, self-reflection. Great for all of those things. So you can definitely practice water witchcraft with lake water. You do a lot of the same things you do with sea witchcraft. Only there's different things to collect, um, all that stuff. It's very like little differences, but lots of different characteristics, basically. Rebecca Headley asked, how does your morning energy spell go? So I don't really have a morning energy spell so much as I like to draw certain sigils and symbols on my makeup when I'm doing it in the morning. So I have certain ones I do on my forehead, my cheeks, my chin, my nose, under my eyes, that kind of thing. And that really like kind of puts my armor on for the day. And that's what I like to do instead of doing like a big morning routine because I just honestly don't have time for it. I like to sleep in. I will sleep down to the last minute I can before I have to get ready. So I definitely am not going to wake up to perform a spell and use up energy and all that kind of stuff. So I said that I would get to some questions from Tumblr, but I really just wanted to get to one question specifically, which I have been getting a lot. And that is about Samhain, which is coming up. Today is October 9th, as of 45 minutes ago. And on October 31st, it will officially be Halloween and Samhain. For those self-taught witches out there who may not know, I know I didn't for a long time because I didn't have anyone to tell me. Samhain is spelled Samhaim. So some people mispronounce it Samhain, but the proper Celtic pronunciation is Samhain. And it's basically the pagan spiritual New Year, which is fun and exciting. And it's also a day to remember people who have passed, our dearly departed friends and family. So people like to make offerings, visit cemeteries, and leave little gifts, share stories about people who have gone over, and divinate for the new year, which is really cool because you get a little hint at all the things to come in the next 365 days. And on top of that, as some may know, Halloween, autumn, is when the veil between worlds is thin. And I look forward to that all year long. I know all my sensors get kind of alerted. I feel energy more easily. I divinate more easily. And it's just a really like magical time of the year that I always look forward to. So basically, all your activities, spells, that kind of thing for Samhain should usually pertain to deceased friends and family. And good luck, protection, kind of like New Year's resolutions almost. You can like, kind of glamour yourself with confidence, or, I want to say stupid stuff less, which I know is one of mine. And you could perform those kind of spells on Samhain, and that's a really good time to do them. So that kind of stuff is all great. I will be making more posts about it and activities to do and certain spells that are good for it and all that kind of stuff. And before I go, I really quickly want to acknowledge that today I checked and I reached over 10,000 followers on my Tumblr blog, and honestly, I was astounded. I have no idea who all of you are or where you came from or why you care what I have to say, but I am so unbelievably touched. I have had such a great time answering questions and communicating with everyone. And I love learning from you all. I love being a part of the community because I wasn't for so long. And I just wanted to acknowledge how much that means to me. And I definitely do not take it for granted. I am so thankful for all the experiences I have had the pleasure to have from running the blog and making these videos and everything like that. So thank you, all of you. Thank you for being so nice. Thank you for believing in me and asking me questions and being patient when I was busy. Just thank you so much. And I will see you for Ask Witch Tips Part 3 in a short while, hopefully. Bye, everyone.